Okay, I think we're set up and ready.
Okay.
Hello, guys. What is up? I am the One, and welcome back to the Bejeweled podcast, where some days we have easy topics just come up from away, especially when they're related to Mario, right?
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is episode 3, and welcome back to the Bejeweled podcast. I'm here with my good buddy Zhao Zach,
Yes. Hello.
and you know the Bejeweled podcast. It's just me and Zhao Zach just talking about anything gaming and everything gaming, whilst I torture my hands into doing something absolutely stupid. For those who are still not aware, the Bejeweled podcast is basically my way to try and 100% a very obscure game with a very obscure goal, reaching level 281 on an endless mode that was going to take plenty of hours, which is why I converted it into a podcast of some sorts. But ladies and gentlemen, today we actually have a lot to discuss about. As always,
Yeah.
the normal format is we both have a common topic, which is going to be the Mario 35th Anniversary Direct. I have a topic for myself, and Zhao has a topic for himself, and I basically going to be just saying some stuff left and right, up and down, and all around, I guess.
Yeah.
So, are you ready for 2 hours of non-stop talking?
I think so.
Technically, that's what a podcast is, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyways, for those who are in the chat, you can go ahead and talk along, give us your opinions about certain things, and we'll love to conversate on these because especially when you guys can easily fuel the discussions we have. Without further ado, though, let's finally get in, shall we?
Yes.
All right. So first off, let's do the common topic because I think that's gonna be the main focus. Mario Direct.
Yes.
The 35th anniversary Mario Direct has sparked so much hubbub over the past few. I wanted to say weeks, but it's still days.
Yeah.
And the question is, what do we think of it? I think Jessica can go first.
Sure. So, I I guess the main sort of thing that they announced was at the end with 3D All-Stars. And like even though I've already pre-purchased and pre-downloaded the game and everything cuz I'm really excited for it, I'm personally still kind of mixed as to how they're handling some parts of it, like how the uh mainly the fact that it is just for a limited time only is kind of okay, why?
I mean, when you say
It's
limited, it really is. I mean, 6 months isn't really limited.
I mean, yeah, but let's hypothetically say someone 2 years down the future wants to play those games.
Hmm.
Are they going to have to track down a used copy that's likely going to be hundreds of dollars, or is Nintendo planning on still having them available in some way on the Switch?
Imagine I don't know, the first thing I can think of a sudden is that they put it down and then they released a second version with Galaxy 2.
And they might do that. Yeah. Which it's yeah, that's another thing is that these 3 games are good, but a lot of people are wanting Galaxy 2 as well. So it's kind of hard to say exactly what it is that Nintendo's doing. But I mean, I'm personally still excited to, for one, finally be able to play Galaxy, because I've barely gotten to play it over the years.
You talked about your story last time.
Yep. Yeah. It's it's a game that is kind of weirdly near and dear to my heart for the fact that I've been deprived of it. I've only gotten to play little bits of it over the years, and I'm just ready to finally actually play the dang thing. And in HD nonetheless, which isn't actually the first time that game has been officially available in HD. Um, a couple Wii games, Galaxy included, um, Nintendo brought to the Nvidia Shield in China within the past couple years. That's a thing, and
Yeah, I was
those
about to
game
say, I'm
those
assuming they will upshifted to higher resolution.
yeah, yeah. And so they likely used the Nvidia Shield build because it's already in HD and everything, which kind of brings the question, okay, why didn't they bring the pointer controls of being able to use like the right stick to move like your cursor instead of being forced to use motion? Um,
Hmm.
because with the 3D All Stars pack, you can, to use the pointer, you can only either use motion, or if you're playing in handheld mode, the touchscreen, and that's it.
Yeah, that is a problem, definitely.
Yeah, yeah, especially because have you tried using a touchscreen heavy game with the Switch in handheld mode? If you're using the regular Switch, it's a bit uncomfortable because of just the weight of the system.
True.
Uh, yeah, it's why it was hard for me to play Captain Toad in handheld mode without my if I can grab it right here. I could only play it in handheld mode if I had my Switch in my Satisfy grip, so then I could actually
Yeah.
more easily like one hand the system. But the fact that it is more palatable with a third party accessory is kind of brings the question of, is this necessarily a good control scheme?
I mean, for me, right, I can't really compare much because I don't have Captain Toad for the Switch. But I want to liken the 3DS to have a somewhat similar, if not lesser weight than the Switch, and say that while I was playing Captain Toad on that, it wasn't as bad. But maybe that's just
Yeah,
me.
yeah, yeah, and especially if you're playing on the Switch Lite, that shouldn't really the weight shouldn't be an issue. I've used a demo unit in Best Buys a couple times, and it's surprisingly light. And so I don't see like too much of an issue using the touchscreen on that system, but for the regular Switch, I'm probably just gonna be playing the whole game docked anyways, just so then I can have the full like 1080p visuals.
Hmm.
So
Okay. Well, for me, in terms of 3D All Stars, I only have two words for you: 100% win.
yeah,
Because for me, I've never played 64 on actual hardware or an actual emulator. Because the only time I managed 100% 64 was through an online emulator. Shout out to Arcade Spots,
interesting.
although I can say that now because um, Flash is going to be taken down by the end of this year. So I think emulators of that kind are also going to be non-functional, if I'm not mistaken.
That's true. Yeah,
But yeah, that's why I was able to 100% it. But if you talk about Sunshine, if you talk about Galaxy, I have not even touched those games at all. I've only seen playthroughs of it, but I've never myself played it.
hmm
And that's coming from someone, for those who are about to judge me, that's coming from someone who like grew up with the Game Boy Color.
hmm.
And then Advance, of course, but I didn't have any chance to touch a GameCube or a Wii. Unless, of course, you talk about other people around me, because my brother had the Wii at the time.
Oh,
But otherwise, I had no experience. And when I found out that 3D All Stars was actually going to be a thing, I was honestly giddy. I was so happy.
yeah.
It was just the idea of being able to finally, well, I say be with the cool kids, but more so finally be able to experience culture, seeing how people suffered with, well, I wouldn't say mediocre games, but more so very tedious games.
I imagine you're specifically talking about Sunshine,
Yeah,
maybe.
but as someone who doesn't mind Sonic Unleashed, I'm honestly excited to try Sunshine.
Same, same. I haven't played that game either.
For those wondering, when I say Unleashed, I mean Sonic Unleashed, which of course is very item heavy.
Hmm.
But even then, I love Sonic Unleashed.
Okay.
Okay, so next thing, of course, about the Mario Direct is the Battle Royale.
Yeah, Super Mario Brothers 35.
I mean, all I can say is, man, apparently Battle Royale is the thing of 2019 and 2020.
Yeah, I mean, really got kickstarted with like PUBG and Fortnite,
I mean, how many
and
Battle Royales have we have right now? Fortnite, Apex, PUBG, Tom Clancy, Clancy if I'm mistaken,
Fall
um,
Guys.
Fall Guys, yeah, Tetris 99, Mario 35, soon enough, that's 7. What else?
Just a lot.
Yeah, just a
Is
lot.
a good
Like,
answer.
it's so weird to know that this kind of format is so popular all of a sudden this year. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, yeah, but it's honestly a really good game concept, and I'm glad that it's being applied to more game genres than just shooters. Like with I guess starting with Fall Guys, is basically battle royale 3D platformer.
Hmm. And now Mario 35 Battle Royale 2D platformer.
Yep.
So many new concepts added into the fray. It's so cool.
Mm-hmm. What what's next? Like Mario Kart 50?
But
I don't
isn't
know.
well actually wait no. A survival Mario Kart. Like I
What
know
exactly?
Mr. Bean 35,000 VR did Mario Kart Wii custom tracks, but he also did something like a survival, sorry, elimination Mario Kart, where up to no, not kidding, up to 24 players can play now. Um, Up to 24 players can play in one track, but the thing is, every lap, the last person to cross the line is eliminated. Or after a certain time frame, the person in last gets eliminated, and it goes by go. Then it eliminates the next person until one person remains.
Interesting.
And I'm wondering if Nintendo may be thinking of that as well.
Yeah. Yeah, that's honestly a really good idea.
But here's the problem: that would mean that Mr. Bean's creation might be in dire jeopardy in terms of being copyrighted.
Yeah. Yeah, if you remember like the fan made essentially Mario Super Mario Brothers Battle Royale that was around, did it release around the same time as Mario Maker 2 last year? I feel
I
like it
have
did.
no idea, honestly. I heard about the fact that I did hear some conversation about this battle royale thing was taken down last time. I'm like, huh? There was a battle royale like this last time?
Mm,
I can tell I'm clueless.
yeah. But yeah, there's a fan-made Mario Battle Royale, and that got DMCA'd by Nintendo fairly quickly. So maybe it was already sort of in the planning stages, maybe, or they saw that and they're used it to make an official game. Who
Oh,
knows?
bruh, that is like, wait, is that technically plagiarism?
I'm not quite sure,
Because
to be
technically they try to
honest.
copyright and say, oh, why use our assets, and then all of a sudden, hey, we're gonna they use the idea that that guy used to make their own game.
Yeah, yeah. It's hard to say because it could
Nintendo, if you're
be.
watching this, I'm so sorry.
Sorry, just having the rest of my coffee.
Hmm. But yeah,
Okay.
it's just a weird thing that all of a sudden we see this battle royale, and honestly, when I saw, it, I was like, wait, can this concept even work properly?
Yeah, yeah. It is interesting the way that they're handling it. It kind of does. Well, aside from the UI, it feels like they took inspiration from Tetris 99 with that, like whenever you defeat enemies, those get sent to opponents,
Hmm.
and you have like the different targeting strategies like Tetris
Yeah.
99. So maybe Tetris 99 in some ways was kind of the testing the waters for this sort of concept to see if they could also apply this to things like Super Mario Brothers. Now, if they can just make Dr. Mario 99, that would be great because
Oh,
I'm better at
yo,
that.
Dr. Mario 99. Oof. I
Yeah,
don't know how
I'm.
that I don't know how that would work because technically any kind of combo would already send garbage to your enemies, and if you get like hit so many times, right, you'll just get stalled out for so many seconds, and you end up might lose already just because people keep sending you garbage.
Yeah, it would definitely have to be balanced for that number of players, but I would play that so much more than I have Tetris 99 because I'm better at Dr. Mario, to be honest.
Hmm. I mean, I don't know. Well, I don't know. It'll be interesting if that happens. Also, hi, Honeydew. 24. How you doing?
Yes, hello. I actually have the chat up right now so I can see when people type.
We're
So,
just we are just discussing about the Mario Direct now, going on to the Mario 35 Battle Royale. If you want to join in the conversation.
mm-hmm. Which, by the way, I'm wearing my Nintendo New York shirt that I got back in 2016. So,
Ooh, that's nice.
yep, I was actually there in New York. Um, I mean, at this point, it was a month over 4 years ago, so that's neat.
Me over here, I have no sense of merchandise related to Nintendo. The only thing I have is Mario socks.
Mm, I,
That's it.
I, I too also have Mario socks.
Hmm.
One of those pairs happens to be Cappy themed.
Oh,
I just found.
Honeydew, this is gonna be just the two of us. Maybe next time you can make it a three-way conversation together. Although it might be a little bit difficult with your mic problems that we had the past couple of streams. But I'll see if we can make it work.
But yeah, I found the Cappy socks just one day browsing in GameStop, and I'm like, I'll
Must
get
want,
these.
must want Cappy.
Yeah, yeah.
Let me capture you. Never mind. That was bad.
But yeah, it's honestly back when I was there, like 4 years ago. I, you don't often hear people say this, but I kind of wish I bought more stuff.
Hmm.
Um, I like I really only got this a mug that I don't know where it is, and also a physical copy of Ocarina of Time 3D that a few months later, because I wasn't having fun with it, I sold it.
Hmm.
So I do want to go back to Ocarina of Time at some point, but I just have too many other things going on.
School, other kind of stuff. Wait, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, school, work, um,
More school, more work.
yeah, yeah. There's yeah. So it's definitely a fun place to go to. I think we ended up going there like twice on that trip. Um, yeah, I got to play on like the giant like 15-foot uh like big screen and everything. That was back when the Switch wasn't even announced. It was just all the Wii U and 3DS. So I don't remember what Wii U game I played up on the screen,
Hmm.
but it was some Wii U game.
Nice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and like the music that plays in there is like music from various Nintendo games and everything. So it's a neat experience, and I encourage, well, probably when it's more socially acceptable to travel, to go there. But anyways,
Sounds like a nice place overall.
yeah, yeah. Honestly, if I lived in New York, I would probably apply to work there.
Mmm. Internship for like I don't know how many years. You don't mind how much the time frame is? Oh man. All right, so I mean, the next thing we'll talk about is, of course, Mario Kart IRL, technically.
Yeah, Mario Kart Live Home Circuit is the full title.
Yeah. Now, my only question is, how is that gonna work?
So, from what I've gathered from the trailer, is that like if you notice the four like numbered archways,
Yeah.
you um like you those are kind of like major markers, and when you're actually making the track, um you literally drive through like the path that you want the track to be on. Like if you notice, Lakitu like dumps paint on your cart, and that is used to dumps paint on your cart in the game, not in real life.
That would be
Um,
impressive if it was real life.
yeah, just all of a sudden, yeah, just from the ceiling, just a stream of like pink paint just dumps all over your like $100 RC car you just bought.
Oh boy. Let's not put that
Um,
into our minds, okay?
yeah, and then you actually drive your cart through the the path that you want the track to be on. So it's if you know of Little Big Planet karting, it's kind of like that, essentially.
I can see that. I can see that.
Yeah, they both kind of work the same way.
That's a wacky concept nonetheless. Like, I think when I was seeing the trailer itself, I understood like what was going on, but man, I was just thinking to myself, wait, I mean, how is this gonna sell well, and how is this gonna? I mean, is there gonna be like in-game tracks that are already customized for like? Basically, I'm asking whether there's gonna be nitro tracks.
Yeah,
Cause like
yeah.
I know some people, especially me, as who doesn't really have a big like room, it's gonna be very difficult to create such tracks.
Mm-hmm.
Like I know some people, like when I was looking at the live chat, right, were discussing like, wait, what happens if my room is so small, and that's what I'm worried about as well.
Yeah, with if if you don't have enough room, I don't think it's going to really work. Um, I I personally have my parents have a huge basement that I could totally like build custom tracks on. And so
Aw, lucky.
I've been very um I've just been heavily contemplating if I do want to get it and like build a like big old like track all around the basement.
I'm just thinking of you just getting like very old furniture just to put around like your basement so you can make such tracks.
Yeah.
That would be so cool.
Mhm. Yeah, make like archways with some of the uh like stuff we have in storage down there, to where like you drive like through a tunnel of just storage bins.
That would be. I mean, even then, that sounds so cool.
Yeah. Yeah, it just kind of is unfortunate that you kind of need a decent amount of space, it seemingly, in order for it to really work. And that it I I don't know how well it's going to work on carpeted floors as well.
True, that could be a problem.
Yeah.
Maybe they will
Yeah.
war. Maybe there's gonna be like some guidelines that say like, hey, avoid putting like certain things, avoid having a certain surface, maybe.
Mhm.
Because like they probably will do that to make sure they don't make sure that you don't spoil the equipment.
Oh yeah.
Because remember, probably it's gonna be like $100, like what you said, so it's probably gonna cost a lot. And I think the last
Yeah.
thing Nintendo
From
wants
what I
is I think the last thing Nintendo wants is another Mario Party One incident.
yeah, people like burning their palms on the control stick. Now they're just
Yeah,
wrecking their $100 toy.
for those wondering what I'm talking about, back in 1997 when Mario Party 1 came out, Nintendo actually got sued by certain parents because for some of the mini games caused like involve you spinning the joystick around, and some kids like to use their whole palm to spin that controller around, like what Jazzak is doing, and that basically
Yep.
burned holes in the children's hands. So Nintendo got sued, and actually the lawsuit went through, and they were forced to give, alongside Mario Party 1, gloves for the children to have or wear while they play those mini games. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying, possibly maybe a situation where Nintendo gets sued because like they don't have they didn't like properly say like what to avoid so that they don't spoil the very expensive carts.
Mm-hmm.
That's what
There,
basically what I'm
there's
saying.
yeah, there's probably going to be like tips of like in game of what you should and shouldn't do,
Hmm.
but yeah. Um, the
How did you recommend some maybe like a roller coaster track?
yeah, yeah. I don't know if the game is gonna properly recognize that, but I mean, it's worth a shot, I guess.
Hmm.
Maybe.
I mean,
Um,
with people messing around with it, I'm pretty sure people are gonna figure out ways, clever ways to make interesting tracks.
mm-hmm. The game itself is actually a free download, but I think in order to play it, you need the physical RC car.
Okay, at least the game itself is free, so at least it warrants like you spending a bit of money on the card.
Yeah, it kind of interesting that they did it like that and not like the Labo kits and Ring Fit Adventure where it just comes with the a game card. Um,
Hmm.
I don't know.
Apologies, folks.
How much is the RC cart even? I should probably look this up.
You said it's about $100, right, or something like that.
From what I heard, but I just want to double check.
I'll check it as well alongside Formula One stats because I think qualifying 3 is done.
Yep. Yep. It is 100 US dollars.
Ooh, that's gonna be 200 over here.
Mm. It says that it charges through
Update for anyone who was interested in
USB.
Formula One, Hamilton got pole again.
It says that the RC car charges through USB. It doesn't specifically say if it's like USB-C. I imagine it charges through USB-C because all official Switch stuff uses USB-C. So,
Ooh, that's a budget, honeydew. I just saw that.
oh yeah.
Hmm. I mean, I think it all comes down to whether the game will be worth, no, the RC will be worth to buy it. And but here's the thing though, technically one person can own buy it, and like he can go anywhere he wants just to create his own tracks.
Yeah.
Doesn't have to be your home. It can be like your school playing school grounds or something like that.
Although I think it does specify that it's for indoor use only, but how is it gonna tell if you use it outside?
Dun dun dun.
Um,
Actually no. Wait. Actually yeah. Technically yeah. Hmm. We'll have to
mhm.
find out. I guess we'll have to find out.
Yeah,
But if the sensor
yeah,
breaks, yeah, that's gonna be a problem. That will already be a lot of money down the drain. Sadly, if you accidentally break the sensor.
yeah, yeah. Um, uh, I've heard some people like call the game like or potentially refer to it as Mario Kart 9, but I think it's more of a spin-off more than anything. Um,
If that's the case, is this the first Mario Kart spin-off ever?
it, if you don't count the arcade games as spin-offs, which I really don't, they have their own like identity,
I can
I
attest to
guess.
that. As someone with
Yeah.
100% to Mario Kart 8 GB2 with my own money.
Yeah, I think it is actually the it's funny that we have a spin-off of a spin-off, if that makes sense. Because
Technically, you're
wasn't
right.
Mario
You're right.
Yeah, yeah, because it doesn't feel like a mainline Mario Kart game. So, Yeah. I'm just really interested to see like what all extra content is in the game. Like, is it just the track creation stuff, or is there going to be extra things to do?
Hmm.
Yeah. Also, you know what's funny is I keep forgetting Mario Kart Tour is a thing.
Oh yeah, that is a spin-off. That is a spin-off.
Yeah, sort of technically, I guess. Um, yeah,
Hmm. Yeah.
yeah.
Actually, technically, if you think about it, all these spin-offs all of a sudden just coming in like around this time. You notice that?
Mhm.
Like you had Mario Kart Tour and
Yeah,
Mario Kart Home Circuit all of a sudden coming at like around similar timings.
yeah,
You don't you find that
yeah.
coincidental?
Considering all of the previous Nintendo mobile games, like Nintendo has been making uh a mobile game for a particular series, like for example, Super Mario Run. The 1 year after that came out is when Odyssey came out. Um, I think. Yeah. Um, like Animal Crossing Pocket Camp, that was almost assuredly uh like that came out around the time when they were probably knee deep in development of New Horizons.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, so I think judging from that sort of thing, they've been putting out a, a mobile game for a series when they've been developing the next title
The next
for
big
that
thing,
series.
yeah. I can agree on that.
Yeah. But Tour has awful controls. Yes. Yeah.
Is it actually
Yes.
that bad? I actually wanted to download the game, but honestly, I was like, maybe I'll wait.
Just try it. It feels like it's not good. It's
Okay,
not
never
good.
mind.
I I can only tolerate it if I don't have my Switch around, and I'm like, I guess I'll play this. I can only play it in landscape mode because they added that. And so it kind of separates the controls between your thumbs, but it still feels very imprecise.
Hmm. I mean, as someone who knows that Kart Rider Rush came out recently, and I've heard like very good reviews of it, making a kart game, it ain't all that easy. And it looks like someone messed up, and the other one did not. For those wondering, Kart Rider is actually a series by Nick Thon. The Facebook game was taken down a few years ago, but they recently came up with a brand new Kart Rider game on mobile,
Hmm,
and I've heard very good reviews about it. So it looks like one company messed up, one company did not.
hmm.
But yeah, it's just the fact that I mean, overall, I think it's gonna be interesting to see how Mario Kart or home circuit will function. And until we get the game and people get the game and test it out to see how test its limits, we will never know. We can't really judge well on how good this game will be.
Yeah, that I'm. This is one of the cases where I'm like, I'm just gonna wait to see, uh, for more information and stuff to come out for that before I really even think about buying it, because I think it would be fun, but I feel like $100 essentially to get the game is fe- looks feels a bit well, of course it's more than a typical game, so
Hey Neons, and no, I have not seen Craftopia. Funny, we were talking about
but
creating games and all that. But yeah, hey, how you doing? All right. I think the last thing just to cover, since there's not really much else besides merchandise.
yeah.
What else was there? Like, oh yes. Oh,
3D World?
the wait, what?
3D World?
Yes. All
Yes.
I can say is yes, finally.
Yes.
Now the only
Yeah.
game left. Now the only game left from. Now the only game left from. Wii U that hasn't been ported to Switch that people want is Xenoblade Chronicles X.
Yeah. Yeah. After that, the Wii U is completely dead.
Yeah. After that, yeah. Good. After that, goodbye Wii U. That's the sad part. I think.
Yeah.
I think you can
Yes.
see the desperation. I can now see the desperation Nintendo have just to get rid of the past. Like, I know it's
Yes.
unforgivable at times, but at the same time, you sometimes just have to forget about it and just move on with life. And I think that's what Nintendo has been desperately trying to do over the past few years with the Nintendo Switch, considering how incredibly well it sold.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say Nintendo was in a rut when the Wii U was around, but I would say they were definitely not in a good like business part, especially I mean, especially with the fact that Sonic Hedgehog was also a little bit downgraded at the time. The fact that they didn't
Yeah.
capitalize on other companies' downfalls is just a waste.
Yeah. Yeah. Um. Yeah. It's. I mean, when you think about it, it's like okay, a lot of Switch games are Wii U ports essentially, but I mean, all those games, it feels like Nintendo definitely put their their heart and soul into those, and to do that for games on a very what was at the time like a very unpopular platform. I I am honestly fine with them bringing those games to a platform that is infinitely more popular.
Yep.
Um, although here, now that I'm thinking about this, let me go through my library and see how many like Switch games are Wii U ports. So we have Captain Toad,
Donkey Kong Country, Tropical Freeze,
yes, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe,
Mark, New Super Mario Brothers U and New Super Luigi U.
yep, and um, well, I mean, I'm just looking through my library and I don't have every first party game, but
Hmm.
oh yeah, next month Pikmin 3 is coming
Yeah.
out.
Then we have Super Mario 3D World.
Yep. Yeah.
Anyone else in the chat can tell us some?
Yeah.
I
And
mean,
like
the
not
overall fact is the fact there's so many games that are the Wii U ports.
yes, but they are all still great games. It's just they were kind of um that their success was hampered because of the poor sales of the Wii U.
I was wondering
To be frank.
also, if you're wondering like, oh, what's the big deal? Well, for those who wondering what's the big deal, the stats show that Nintendo Wii U sold 1/4 of the number of Switch consoles. Like that's like 4 times the population who would possibly have not tried any of the greatest Wii U games ever.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why they were you could say they were desperate to try and to port all of those to the Wii to the Switch.
Mm-hmm. Honeydew mentions Nintendo Land. Nintendo Land was kind of tailor-made for the gamepad, so I don't know how that's gonna work on a Switch. If they're gonna work.
Well, I mean, several people with Joy Cons were controlling the game, and then one person with the game with the actual Switch.
But you would need two Switches for that in order to replicate it.
Yeah, I guess so.
It would yeah, it would have to be like how they brought Pac-Man Versus to the Switch. Is you have one Switch docked to the TV with the view for the ghosts, and then one person with a second Switch in handheld mode, with the Pac-Man view. For those who don't know what Pac-Man Versus is, um, It's a local multiplayer game where one person plays as Pac-Man, everyone else plays as ghosts trying to catch Pac-Man. If Pac-Man gets caught, the ghost that catches him now becomes Pac-Man, and you're trying to get to the uh, target amount of points. It's what Mario Chase from Nintendo Land was based off of, because surprisingly, Pac-Man Versus was Nintendo had a good amount of involvement with the development of that because Mario is the announcer of Pac-Man Versus.
Hmm,
Yep.
that's interesting.
Yep.
Huh.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, if they did want to bring Nintendo Land to the Switch, with all its functionality, it would have to be used with two Switches. There's no way around it. It would have to be done that way because it was already tailor-made for the gamepad.
Hmm. I mean, I don't know. We'll see in due time if they end up doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Also, Neos, I don't know what you mean when you say you don't like having lungs.
Lungs are great. They let you breathe.
Have you ever heard about breathing, Neons? Anyways, a joking aside. But yeah, I'm just excited to see that 3D World is coming to Switch, and the fact that there's a DLC extra stuff. Oh, that honestly that just mocks. Well, I wouldn't say mocks, but more so, it just makes the Wii U even more obsolete.
Yeah, yeah. Now, we don't really know much about Bowser's Fury at this point. Just kind of inferring, inferring cats. What exactly it's.
I mean, I'm
Sorry.
gonna guess. I'm gonna guess it's actually more stages. Just looking at the way that they show it, because it looks like terrain that we have never seen before in 3D World.
Yeah, it I I know I've kind of made this comparison with like Luigi U to New Super Mario Brothers U, but I wonder if this is going to be like a lost level situation where it's going to be like more challenging stages than what the base game offered.
Hmm, possibly.
Because I mean, with the name of Bowser's Fury, with um a logo that is largely just spikes, it kind of gives off that feeling. And
Yeah.
As Honeydew says, the multiplayer, you will be able to do it online,
Oh, bro,
which
that's the
is
biggest thing. That's the best thing that anyone wants to hear at this point in time. An actual online Mario 3D game.
yeah. Let's just hope it's not like a PowerPoint presentation like Mario Maker 2's multiplayer is.
Let's hope.
Yeah. Yeah.
You also said I want to say that 3D World had the challenge road. You meant the World Star, Mushroom, Flower, which I don't know why it was in that order, and then Crown. I mean,
Yeah.
Champion's Run is considered one of the hardest levels in all of Mario history, but still.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh my gosh. That's also going to be the first time I get to really experience 3D World. And also play those challenge stages. Uh, yeah. It's it's just kind of yeah.
I mean, we're just all excited the fact that we get to play it, and honestly, the fact that
Yeah.
it's face masks are great. Except I don't like breeding. Okay, okay, Neons, you do you. All right, so that's I guess that's all of the 35th anniversary video are out of the way. Honestly, I think we're just all excited the fact that there was so much content that was, I don't know, hidden from us for so long.
Yeah, like some stuff did leak, but others it's like, here's a Mario Battle Royale that we had no idea about.
It's just insane. Like Nintendo really has been trying to. I mean, it's just been trying to keep Pandora's box closed, and also now that it's open, it's like everyone is just so happy that it's open.
Hmm.
Ironically,
There is one point I kind of want to add to the 3D All Stars collection is that there are some people like complaining about how it is a $60 package, but if you look at the prices of all the games physically, like what they go for, $60 is not that bad of a price.
Yep.
To get all three on modern hardware. That's
Yes.
all I'll say.
And
Because
before anyone's complains as well, think about how much money you have to spend on the consoles themselves for those who don't have them.
that too, yeah, you'd at least have to get an N64 and a Wii that's backwards compatible with GameCube games.
Which would have cost about $400 at that point US.
Mm-hmm. And also
So
like all the controllers to do it.
yeah, at the same time, there's also that problem as well.
Yeah.
So honestly, it's a big boon for not only myself but a lot of people around the world.
Mm-hmm. And also I think the morning that the direct happened, Joel and I were just casually talking as we were playing Mario 3 in the All Stars pack on Switch Online.
Yep.
Is um I kind of had the idea of what if Galaxy 2 is secretly in the All Stars pack and you need to beat Galaxy 1 in order to gain access to it, and they just aren't saying anything about it. That would be neat, but I don't see it actually happening.
Watch it end up being DLC. Well, not say DLC, but also like, hey, here's a part 2. Galaxy 2 is now available.
Yeah.
That would be the best debate ever, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, yeah. But with that, I
Yeah.
think it's finally time to move on with the conversation.
Sure.
And now we're gonna do our own topics. Do you want to do first, or do you want me to go first?
You can go first.
All right. So it's funny that the Mario Direct came out because I honestly have been noticing all of the hate that was going along with the previous Nintendo Directs. That being the indie showcases and all that stuff, all the Direct minis. And my question in general is called Nintendo hate understandable but unnecessary.
Yeah.
So basically, the overarching idea of my topic is the idea of whether you think that the hate shown to Nintendo because of the Nintendo Direct that came out, it is technically understandable, but was it unnecessary for them to show that hate?
Yeah.
And
Um.
for those wondering, I'm going to make reference to the previous Nintendo Directs that came out. In which case, I'm talking about the July and August Nintendo Direct Minis, if I'm not mistaken. Both, as I've
Mhm.
checked the like dislike count, the like dislike count right is very split. Where in terms of likes, it's only up by dislikes by only about 20-30%. Unlike, of course, the recent Mario Direct, in which I'm seeing like probably a 10,000% increase from dislikes to likes.
Mhm.
So it's like I'm just looking at it, I'm thinking like, man, like everyone really did not like the directs last time, but is it really necessary to hate on them for that?
It probably boils down to the fact that uh people were just hungry for new first party stuff because I mean there are some people that only play first party Nintendo stuff, which is like okay, fair, but have you played Katamari Damacy? Um it's yeah,
Hmm.
I think just because there was such a long stretch of time between major like Nintendo Directs that people feel like that they were being gypped, even though the titles clearly said that they were partner showcases.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a case. It kind of feels like a case of
People can't
I'm
read.
Shadid and I'm Shadid and I can only count to six. What the heck come after six? If you know of that video.
Yes, I think so. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it's just like okay, like can they read? um, but also this is kind of the theme for this year, but probably what caused that giant gap between major Nintendo Directs is, current world situation.
Yeah. I'm actually gonna make a reference to at Lyric of Wisdom that I found on Twitter saying, "Am I the only person who's okay with Nintendo not doing anything during a global pandemic?" And this was a response to another person at Nibellion who wrote Nintendo really skipping 2020 with a crying ash pic.
What was the second part of that? I didn't quite hear it.
No, that message, right, was a response to another Twitter post that was made by at Nibellion saying Nintendo really skipping 2020, and it shows Ash crying.
Ah, okay.
So it's like people that it's pretty much people are, I think, like somewhat split on the idea of whether Nintendo they are fine with Nintendo doing almost zilch during the pandemic or not.
Yeah, yeah. If from kind of what I've heard about how, um, well, just in general, how secretive Nintendo likes to be with stuff, um, and how they've tried to maintain that level of secrecy while working remotely from everyone's houses, it's taken significant amount of time and effort to set that up so their employees can work safely,
True.
um, and maintain that level of secrecy that they like to have.
So you're saying that in
So
any case, the secrecy level or the secrecy idea a part of their games now is like even harder to pull off than before.
yeah, yeah. Um,
So in this case, you're saying it's reasonable for them to be like saying not much at the moment.
yeah, yeah.
Does it help?
I I
I
I,
mean,
I
does it
think so.
help that some companies like to I don't know, spoil stuff? Coral, coral.
Um, it it honestly feels like Nintendo was planning on doing a whole lot more with this year, but when COVID kind of threw a monkey wrench into everyone's plans, just it likely halted their development processes for quite a while.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah,
yeah,
definitely a little bit of a bummer. But that but even as you say that, that just justifies the fact that really Nintendo really hey, for us it's not really was not necessary. That give, I say like to say, especially okay, especially when people kept saying that Sakurai needs a break, and then all of a sudden we're seeing like, a lot of people saying like where are our games? Like
yeah,
that is fickleness and hypocrisy combined into
hypocrisy.
one. Yeah, hypocrisy combined into one,
Mm-hmm.
which is ridiculous, honestly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's. Oh,
Definitely unjustifiable for people to be mad.
mm-hmm.
And I also want to remember the one more post I saw from at Eric Toll, and this was related. This was actually a comment in the July Nintendo Direct video, saying it's too dangerous to go into this comment section alone. Take this, and it shows a sword icon. Yeah.
I
Um.
mean that's funny, but I mean, uh, yeah, yeah,
It's just sad. Like people are just so hateful sometimes. They're so spiteful about what Nintendo's been doing. It's like, come on, just give them a break. Like Sega is not doing much, and no one is going on
mhm.
them, and then Nintendo just gets all the crap. Like, what in the world, man, guys? Like, be sensible. Be sensible in life. Be sensible with what you comment, because you're gonna hurt more people than you think with one spiteful message.
Yeah, yeah.
And how did you
Um,
know? I have not seen the company that made New Horizons.
what was I gonna say? Yeah. Oh, like kind of what I um sort of kind of joked about um earlier is I honestly feel like the people that are complaining only really ever play first party Nintendo games and not much else.
Hmm.
Like they're only wanting to play all the new stuff. which I don't know if you know this, but the Nintendo Switch already has games. There are hundreds of
Yes.
games that you can play. Granted, the eShop isn't that great to navigate to find a new game, but I mean, you're bound to find something good
Yes. Like,
that's already been out. Like me personally, I have like 40 plus games on my eShop wish list
hmm.
that I if if I'm just itching to play something um new that I haven't played before, I will go to that list and find something.
Hmm.
Um
Like for me as well, I have all the Precross S games right now, and once I've completed all four of them, I plan to just uninstall all of them from my SD card and then download some new games to try. I know some people have been recommending me some other games. Hint, hint, honeydew, because you did recommend to me one game that I honestly wanted to try. But yeah, it's just the fact that there's so many other games you can try. The fact that people are just both spoiled and wanting games of just one franchise is just ridiculous. I mean, granted, it is fandom at its finest, but at the same time, that's that fandom just turns to toxicity if you're not careful, and people sometimes not aware of it.
mhm. That's I I used to have an IRL friend that kind of acted like how some people or a lot of people online are um have been acting towards Nintendo, and it's just like that person also basically only played first party Nintendo stuff. And I I realized that I was like that back in middle school, that I was only ever playing first party Nintendo stuff. And so I've been trying to play games that, like, aren't even on the Switch. Like occasionally I like to boot up, I don't know, GTA 5
Hmm.
and play that, cuz for a time that was free on the Epic Game Store. And so I have it, and occasionally I play through like a one or two missions. But yeah, just it feels like the people complaining, again, this is kind of like my personal view of things. It feels like almost everyone that is complaining about it likely is only ever playing the new first party stuff, and they just need to broaden their horizons. Because
But
the yes, because the gaming isn't limited to just one company. It is, you know, all these different companies, and they all offer something different. And just try something different
they say
here and
get a
there.
life. Well, I say get a gaming life.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah,
What's that voice?
yeah.
Jeepers.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man. But yeah, it's just a general sense is that we just want a community that at least is able to open up to many different games. Like even for
Mm-hmm.
me, I can't say too much because when I first started actually diving into a franchise itself, which was Pokemon at the time, that was 2014, and then 2017 was when I really got into it a lot. But even then,
Mm-hmm.
I can dare say I've played so many different other games whilst I was not playing one franchise alone.
Yeah.
So the fact that there's still many other games I can try out is a good thing for me. But the fact that people are still like wanting just one franchise itself, it's like, dude, get some gaming glasses. You need to literally broaden your horizons.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
Stop being so
yeah.
short-sighted.
There's just so many experiences to experience that artificially limiting yourself to just a portion of that um isn't that great. I mean, of course there are some people that aren't necessarily in the financial situation to be able to do that. Although if you have a Switch and a decent PC, you can basically play almost everything that is available
Yeah.
currently. Especially if you take into consideration not just Steam, but also like all the other um launchers. There was one that just popped into my head.
Epic
What was it?
Games.
The Xbox Game Pass as well, because I think
Yeah.
that's on PC too. So yeah, yeah,
Basically, don't have gaming myopia. That's pretty much
yeah,
the overall consensus on this.
yeah. Don't treat it like a religion,
Ah,
basically.
yes. Oh, hey, Wava, welcome to the podcast. We're in the middle of discussing on whether Nintendo hate recently was necessary or not, and was it
Mhm.
understandable or not.
Yeah.
And recently, you just missed us talking about the Mario 35th anniversary direct as well. But of course, I'll be uploading this to, well, of course, Twitch and then later YouTube. So do stay tuned. In fact, I'd like to also promote my YouTube real quick. I have been uploading the Bejeweled podcasters and, of course, any other highlights. I will be uploading the playthroughs I've done of Final Fantasy 1, Plants vs. Zombies, Pokemon Surges, and more onto YouTube in due time once I get the thumbnails ready. So yeah, stay tuned. And of course, future Let's Play coming out on my Twitch, Blur Racing for PC. You'll see it soon enough. In fact, I already have the assets ready for it.
Nice.
All right.
Nice.
Anyways, back to our topic. But yeah, overall,
Mhm.
I think really the fact that people are just wanting from one franchise. It's just the fact that they really don't want to like play other games, and the fact that possibly they think other franchises, but they don't think they're good. Maybe they just don't want to open up. Maybe they're scared of trying other franchises. In fact, that was actually me when I first got into gaming.
Mhm.
So, uh,
Me too, actually.
mm, so it's not
Yeah.
like all of us are
I.
perfect. There are some people. There are some of us like who started out like being myopic, but later on we decided to put on the glasses, and all of a sudden we get so used and so happy with the new things that we see.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah. It's just something that takes time and um yeah. Yeah. I think I really started to broaden my horizons when I got my first Windows PCs since um back in like 2011. Like I got a new one in 2017, and one of the first things that I did was I played through the first two Portal games,
Mhm.
and that kind of got me initially interested in playing stuff on PC. So, yeah. Yeah.
For me, right, I started like with so many Flash Online games from like sites like Shockwave, Y8, all those very classic websites that you know from back then. But then I think for me, when it came to main franchises, I started like broadening when I saw TRG Let's Play of Super Metroid.
Mm.
That was when I finally decided, you know what, I'd like to try this game. It looks quite nice. And then all of a sudden, I just found myself playing Let's Zelda Link to the Past, all the games from the NES and SNES collection, online collections, Final Fantasy, because I've never played Final Fantasy until this year when I finally dived into Final Fantasy 1. And honestly, I started to appreciate why people consider Final Fantasy a cool franchise.
Mm. Nice.
And honestly, I can't wait to actually finally dive into Final Fantasy 2, which, for those wondering, I will do in the future. It's just that for now, I want to take a break. But yeah, it's just the fact that I've all of a sudden just widened up to brand new games around me. It just made me excited just to see what new games will come.
Mhm.
Now, if only I have other friends that are like me.
Mhm.
Because honestly, over here it's kind of lonely because I'm the only one like who's like a gaming geek.
uh.
So it's very hard for me to be able to play with other people unless, of course, they are A, like me, or B, um, are able to understand where I'm coming from with my gaming well, gaming fantasy, is that what the term? Not of course,
Yeah,
not of course a bad fantasy, but a good fantasy.
right. Maybe even a Final Fantasy.
Ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba.
Blum.
But yeah, that's pretty much why I wanted to bring out because honestly, it's been on my shoulders for a bit, and to hear at least that we can understand the idea of some people just being a little bit myopic, but at the same time, for others like us who have started to widen our vision, at least you're able to see that it's nice to be able to open up the franchises and see what games interest us besides, well, the main franchises that we usually go back to as comfort games.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, if only we had money, because technically money is the only reason why some of us are myopic sometimes. Well, some of us, of course.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's why I brought up, like, unless you're in the financial situation where,
Yeah.
um, yeah, yeah, because that is a reality for some people, and in that sense, it's kind of understandable because then you're sort of locked to the games that are on that platform. So,
I mean, I was locked behind Game Boy until 2014.
uh,
That was how long it took me before I finally got to experience the gaming world in its fullest.
wow, that that is a very long time, but yeah, it it's still good that you were able to um
See,
open up
yeah, open up,
more.
yeah. It's very nice, and I'm honestly enjoying every second of it.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I think I milked this topic a lot already.
Yeah,
Anyways, on to yours.
yeah. Before that, is it fine if we just take a quick bathroom break?
Sure. I can entertain these people.
Okay, I will be right back
In
then.
fact, yeah, we'll be right back. In fact, while he's gone, I'd like to mention that for those who did not see, well, for those who are not part of the Discord, the schedule for next schedule, which I'm planning to stream, will be next Wednesday. I'll be doing my third attempt at Super Metro 100% speedrun, then Tetris Returns, and then a night session of Pokemon Insurgents, which I'm actually excited for because let's just say I got very lucky with what Pokemon I'm using for that session. And I did mention that Blur Racing will be coming to the channel as a Let's Play due time. I have the assets ready. In fact, as a preview, here is what the Be Right Back screen looks like. I still don't have the Blur logo yet, like the what's that, the Blur logo yet ready yet. But once I put that, this logo will be complete. And yes, for those wondering, this background was customized by myself. I will tell you guys how I did that in due time once the Let's Play starts. But yeah, I'm honestly excited for this Let's Play because this Let's Play has a bit of a twist. And I'm going to say that the twist involves you guys donating your bits to force me to use certain vehicles in the game, changing view of a camera, and etc. etc. I plan to make that a bit incentive so that people can mess around in my game. But yeah, that's pretty much the status of what I've been planning over the past few days and weeks. So if you're, hope you're excited for that. Honestly, I'm honestly excited. It's because it'll be the very first time that people get to mess around with me. It's something like crowd control, but at least it's controlled, if you know what I mean. But yeah, that's what I'm very excited for. As someone who honestly was not really a big fan of racing games because I never understood certain aspects, but now Blur Racing has actually helped me understand certain things, especially as someone who's a Formula One fan and understands drifting and all that kind of stuff. I actually got to understand it even better with playing Blur Racing and how to drift properly. And I understand now why braking is a thing when you drift. But yeah, that's pretty much my
I'm
status. Welcome
I
back.
am back. Thanks. Okay. What exactly were you talking about?
Oh no, I was
Excuse me.
promoting my schedule for next Wednesday and also gave a sneak preview of what the Blur Racing Let's Play will look like.
Gotcha.
But yeah, on to your topic.
Okay, so um, there's kind of been some rumors going around um concerning um the Switch and uh 4K. Specifically, Nintendo is telling apparently is telling developers that they should make sure that the games that they're making for Switch are 4K ready and things like that. And so that kind of makes me think, is 4K gaming really necessary just in
Ah.
general? Because I mean, I kind of have a clear stance on that, and that's no.
Mm.
um like, especially considering how much it costs to have the equipment needed to properly do gaming in 4K. Not only do you need a like good enough hardware, but also like a display in order to properly see it. And yeah, is 4K in general just necessary outside of like um video, just standard video?
So basically, you're asking how much quality is too much quality.
Yeah, like again, is it really necessary?
Yeah. I mean, I see where you're coming from, especially with how much money it costs. I mean, you look at Nintendo Switch and you see how beautiful it looks like with so much better quality graphics compared to the Wii U even. But then again, you then look at the pricing, you realize, oh wait a second, this is quite expensive. How to lower the price? Either A, lower the quality of the game itself, or B, get a sale.
Yeah.
But it's like I can see where you're coming from when you say that because even I myself was thinking like, man, looking at all the high tech, high quality stuff that's been coming out and seeing how expensive it is, are we gonna be facing just increasing prices of gaming?
hmm there are talks of um the big budget first party titles on the PS5 and whatever the new Xbox is called, that apparently new first party games, or rather just AAA titles, are potentially gonna increase to $70 when they've been 60 for what feels like forever.
Hmm,
Um, yeah.
that could be a problem actually.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, just the fact that we are facing like these kind of things. Ugh.
Mm-hmm. I I personally value a higher consistent frame rate over more visual fidelity. Now, yes, it is nice when a game visually looks good, but a game doesn't have to look realistic in order to be good. Case in point, Luigi's Mansion 3. That game has like such fluid animations, and I don't know how they got the game to look so great on just a little tablet. it's it's kind of insane, but also, yeah. I mean, that's kind of my stance, is that I value um like a solid 60 frames per second over uh, higher resolution, because it does add more to actually playing the game, I guess.
I mean, here's the thing. Um, I also would like to also point out that the fact that what if it's not just the quality that we need to look at, but also the quality of the internet that they're using. The fact that we, well, as Nintendo fans, sometimes wonder whether Nintendo will ever fix the problem of internet fidelity.
Yep.
The fact that we sometimes keep getting like errors or problems with its connection, laggy matches in Smash Ultimate sometimes, or maybe or maybe it's just lag in general for any online game on the Switch.
Mm-hmm.
And we wonder like, our company's just focusing too much on picture quality than like experience quality, basically.
Yeah, it feels like when games on PlayStation and Xbox were increasing in visual fidelity, um, that's kind of when like split screen multiplayer kind of died out on those consoles
Hmm.
in terms of like the first party stuff. But Nintendo's still kept that. Um, and in fact, the Switch is kind of built around being able to do that. Like you have someone nearby that wants to play, just hand them a Joy-Con, flip them, and now you are instantly playing. Like they built a whole system around that.
Hmm. True.
Mm-hmm. Honeydew says, I don't get lag on Splatoon 2. That's the only one. I I think it varies from game to game and just
Yeah, it does.
what exactly the game is. Like, for example, Smash Brothers, that kind of requires pinpoint accuracy, so they have to make sure that like everything is synced between all of the players as much as possible. But I mean, that kind of
Falls true
goes up.
sometimes.
Yeah, yeah, largely because um honestly, if you're able to have whatever system you're playing online with, have it hardwired, a $5 Ethernet cable will provide an infinite more amount of connection stability than a $300 router that looks like the Death Star.
Hmm.
It's wired is just the way to go with that. There's really no beating around the bush. That's just the better way to do it, but not everyone has the ability to do that. Some people want to, but they like the other people that they're living with don't want to have to deal with that. Although power line adapters are a good investment if your house has good enough wiring. Because in fact, I'm using power line adapters right now. Connect to my computer.
Hmm.
Um, do you know what power line adapters are?
Think so? Drop my memory.
essentially, essentially, it turns your house's electrical wiring into a giant Ethernet cable. It's basically
Oh.
yes. And while it may not always increase your connection speed, it as long as your house's wiring is good, it it will give you so much more stability with your connection, just as long as your ISP doesn't like die. Um, but yeah, sorry,
I
I
mean,
kind of went on like
I've
a
been recently
tangent,
using
but
Ethernet cable all my time, and honestly, it's been working much more better than just using Wi-Fi. And honestly, it's been working like a dream.
hmm yeah,
So I'm not too sure
and
like what your experience is like until, of course, I will try it myself. But until then, it's gonna be a bit hard for me to relate.
hmm yeah, um, with my Switch, whenever I mean, this has mostly been for like when I've been downloading larger games, but I've I do use a USB to Ethernet adapter. Holding it up right here. Um, yeah, it like specifically for
Hello, Master
um
Gaming.
the speed that it provides as opposed to Wi-Fi is infinitely better. And I mean it is a bit hard to say how much it improves playing online because I don't know if everyone that I'm playing with is also using Ethernet. I guarantee most people playing online on the Switch are using Wi-Fi. So, yeah. But anyways,
Hmm.
that reminds me of something that some people want added to Smash Ultimate, is that when you're playing online and you get matched up against someone that is using Wi-Fi as opposed to wired, have a message box pop up saying, this incoming challenger is not using an Ethernet connection. Do you still want to play with them? And like have an option of yes or no. So,
I
I mean,
mean,
it's definitely
that will have its social consequences, but otherwise, that is not a bad idea.
yeah, because there are some people that just don't want to deal with a laggy connection. Plain and simple. And
Yeah, it is a bummer that that all of us are in the same boat. And unfortunately, there's no way we can like get out of the boat unless we convert everyone else who is wait, we convert everyone else who is outside the boat into the boat.
you know what this is reminiscent of?
But
Masks.
oh,
I don't know why my brain just came up with that connection, but anyways.
Master Gaming, yes, I did see the new Hyrule Warriors. It looks interesting. And Honeydew, second switch custom. Oh, I mean, yeah, it is a problem on your side. Not everyone has a console.
That too. Yeah. Just it, you do get a better connection if you're playing with someone that is geographically closer to you, as opposed to like, let's say I play against someone, yeah, that's just like on the exact opposite side of the world. That's gonna inherently cause some lag.
Indeed.
Yeah.
I mean, well, I don't know until the day that we all like until the day that Nintendo says like, hey, we're now of course giving like internet cables and all that. It's gonna be an issue that everyone's gonna be facing.
Mm-hmm. Especially when, again, I bring up this IRL friend that I used to have. He also complains about the stability of um like Nintendo Switch Online. The thing is that he lives in a larger house and is pretty far away from his wireless router. And you don't think that's gonna cause problems?
Oh,
Having to like send and receive data through that many walls, like that, no matter what game you're playing on what system or what platform, that is gonna cause issues.
yeah, I don't even want to think
So
about it.
yeah, yeah, you just kind of have to like take your um environment into consideration when it comes to that.
Yeah.
Um, at the very least, just move closer to your router. Anyways,
The number one solution, just move close to your thing.
yeah, especially with the Switch, just take it out of the dock and yeah. Although some people don't like playing Smash in handheld mode, but it feels like a lot of people forget that tabletop mode is a thing. Anyways,
Hmm. I do. I would say that honestly, the reason why Smash Ultimate sucks with Wi-Fi is just the fact that there's so many precise things that need to take consideration, like hitboxes of characters, um, percentage calculation relative to the attack that happens on them, and all that kind of stuff. So it's very difficult for constant connection uh, to be viable in Smash Ultimate,
mm-hmm.
which is a bummer.
Yeah, yeah. But then you get a game like Mario Kart where most of the time you're just driving straight forward. So even if there is a bit of interference, the game can kind of cheese that and just have the models of all the other racers on your end just keep going forward. That's why games like that appear to have a great connection, is that they can kind of cheese it just because of the nature of the game. but
Mm,
not every game can do that.
true. That is a bummer. One thing also, Honeydew pointed out is the fact that in his country, right, the Switch is the most popular console.
Yeah, yeah.
I actually want to point that out quickly before we go on because I actually did miss that message.
hmm Yeah, there's just so many factors um when talking about online gaming that it could be just one thing um in the, I guess, pipeline that is the issue, or it could be multiple different things. It, it's just kind of hard to say that one thing for certain is the issue, but at the very least, if you can, use Ethernet.
I actually don't,
hmm
but I use all Wi-Fi all the way, and yeah, it's still working fine. I don't even know how to connect my Switch to Ethernet, to be perfectly honest.
I mean, like like I said, well, granted, you can't really. Well, I mean, you can do it when the Switch is undocked, but it's a lot easier if you're doing it docked. Is you get a USB to Ethernet adapter like this, and you just plug the USB port into the dock, and you may have to go into the internet settings on your Switch to have it switch over to this, but I mean, it is pretty simple. It's just weird that they didn't have that third USB port like behind the door of the dock. Just be an Ethernet port, because most people just get the that use that sorry, most people that use that port are likely using it for an Ethernet adapter, so why didn't they just put an Ethernet port to just right into the dock? But anyways,
The mysteries of Nintendo that we'll never understand.
yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
Just how come Splatoon is faster despite it not needing that? I mean, kind of what I mentioned is that some games can cheese the movement of other players if there's a dip in the connection.
Yeah,
Um, but yeah, it varies from game to game.
it does. Just how much data that has to be processed within one action in the game itself can dictate whether lag occurs a lot more than usual or not.
hmm Is anyone even using the Nintendo apps? Like, are you talking about the Switch Online app, or
I
what
don't.
app? Yeah, I don't really use the Switch Online app either. Except like if I'm back when I played Animal Crossing more, um the app has a like it lets you use your phone as a keyboard to more quickly type to the people you're playing with. Although generally I just prefer to use Discord.
Mm,
So yeah,
definitely.
Switch Online app.
Yeah,
Yeah.
honestly, the Nintendo Switch Online app really was overshadowed by other. The fact that what's the point when you have other means to compensate with your friends?
Yeah. Yeah.
Of course it makes possibly finding people that you like know on Switch to chat with them, but otherwise, yeah, what's the point?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because at least with the Nintendo Switch app, you can possibly talk to them. Problem is that they probably wouldn't even have the application, and it just makes you downloading the application itself, right, completely obsolete.
Yeah. Yeah. Also, I mean, um it can vary from game to game, but especially with games like back when we were doing stuff with Luigi's Mansion 3, it's just a lot easier to communicate with voice compared to text. Um, yeah. um, Although, well, I mean, you can still sort of communicate with others in Luigi's Mansion 3 with the D-pad, but
With limited messages, that is.
yeah, and I mean, for most situations, they work just fine. Um, but if you want to do more complex strategies, you have to you have to use some sort of voice chat,
Yeah.
which I think you can do with the app, but I don't think anyone actually does that with that game.
Hmm. I need to actually point out something interesting. Why did Luigi's Mansion 3 work so well?
So that game was made by Next Level Games, right? I'm
Yes.
pretty sure. I- It almost feels like that game has dedicated servers. They never said anything about it, but the way that it does things, it gives off the impression that it's running on its own dedicated servers. Not that I'm saying it is, it just feels like it is. Um, yeah.
Oh man, guys, I'm
Although,
actually a little bit sleepy now. Rip me. But yeah, I understand where you're coming from with that.
mm-hmm. Although it probably maybe still is just the standard like peer-to-peer, but it gives off the impression that it's running on dedicated servers. So,
Watch it finally reveal like, hey, we've been using dedicated servers, and everyone's like, what?
yeah. Yeah.
You know how much effort we put in just to make sure our game runs so smoothly? Anyways.
Yeah. It's also kind of interesting that Nintendo decided to make a mobile app to do native voice chat on the system, and um like if you think about it in the sense
Native
of,
voice chat.
well, that's why I did the air quotes, is that like technically it's still within the uh, it's how they're handling
No, it's just I'm more
official
so
voice
laughing
chat.
at the concept of a native voice channel.
Yeah. um it makes, I mean, I feel like it makes sense in the fact that most people playing the Switch, like docked, are don't have the system within arm's length to where they can have a a headphone cable going to the system, but something that that the player may already have right next to them is their phone. So I mean, in that sense, it makes sense, but still, it's a bit weird.
It is.
Uh, but yeah, it's not like I have ever actually used the official voice chat. Um, I've been kind of wanting to do it just to see what it's like, but I just can't be bothered.
Hmm.
Like, why would I want to go and trash talk on Mario Kart? Like,
So
why?
yeah, I can see now where the fully. It's definitely like the purpose of it. Like it is just there, just to be there. There's not much else we can say about it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh yeah. Uh, uh, Super Mario 3D World is probably going to have um voice chat, I'd imagine, when you're playing that online. Like the official through the app.
Mm.
So
Hopefully. Question is
From
though, I
what I
wonder, is it possible to play with people outside your friend group?
like with voice chat,
Yeah, something like that maybe.
yes, yeah, you can go into just
A random
like
lobby.
yes, yeah.
So awkward.
Honeydew says, from what I heard, if you don't have the app, open voice chat won't work.
Ooh.
That's when it originally came out. It was patched to where you can even put your phone into, like, you can lock the screen and everything, and it will still work. That
Huh.
was patched like pretty soon after the Switch came out.
Oh, that's nice.
Mm-hmm. So it works like other um voice chat
Hmm.
apps.
I'll get some water real quick. You can just talk more about it.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be right back.
Mm-hmm. Like, it is kind of interesting how that functionality is delegated to the app, um and none of it is directly available in the Switch's operating system itself. So you don't even have the option to do it if you're playing in handheld mode and you want to do voice chat. You have to have your Switch in handheld mode, but then your phone's still next to you. Which, I mean, granted, most people will probably already be using Discord to begin with. So, is there much of a difference? Probably not. Probably not. If we're being honest, most people are already using Discord, so there's really not much of a difference. I did see that, Honeydew. Um,
Nice.
yeah. Um, I was just kind of talking about how, like, even if Nintendo's official voice chat solution was good, most people will still probably just be using Discord. So is there really much of a difference?
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I don't really have that many people added on Steam to begin with because I don't always, or I haven't really played much like multiplayer stuff on Steam. It was really only until Fall Guys is when I started um playing more with friends.
Ah, so that's why you're not angry all the time, usually. Because you don't blow off some steam. Pop!
Hey. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I was also saying that it's weird that, like, I guess maybe not weird, but just that all of the stuff relating to official relating to voice chat, um there's straight up nothing in the Switch's operating system itself um that lets you do that. So, like, hypothetically, if you're playing in handheld mode, you would still have to have your phone next to you in order to do voice chat.
Like, well, do we use Discord? That's the thing.
Exactly. Most people would be using Discord anyways.
Yeah.
So, is there a point in getting angry over how Nintendo handles their official voice chat?
Nope.
Right.
If it ain't, as I said before, it ain't fixed. It ain't broke, don't fix it. Also, I'm gonna say, if it ain't fixed, don't broke it.
If it's fixed, don't break it. Okay.
Oh man, yeah, you can tell I'm very sleepy.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe one of these days I will try and see if I can do like a morning night for you, morning for me, nighttime for you, like this podcast.
Sure, yeah. We can
Especially with
talk.
like school later on, like for you to be finished, then at least maybe you can pull off something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, we can talk about that. further after this.
Hmm. But yeah, that's interesting the topic to bring out though. I actually even never think about it. Like when I was discussing about the fact, like when I was discussing the fact that I was worried about gaming prices being higher, I never even thought about wait, about how much quality is too much or too much quality basically.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I never thought of that. So then you brought it up, right? It basically just picks up from what I brought up last week, or last two podcasts.
Yeah. It it feels like if a game is um too realistic, it doesn't age that well.
Hmm.
As opposed to something with a more unique art style.
True, I can agree that.
Mm-hmm.
Should
Yeah.
take on that actually. Now that you say that. Hmm.
Yeah. Also, it just feels like and this is more so a personal view of mine, is that um, if a game is going for like a realistic look, kind of blends in with the other games that are also going for that look.
Hmm.
So
Yeah, I can see that. Huh.
yeah, yeah. Essentially, when it comes to gaming, gameplay should well, gameplay then unique visuals. It should kind of be like that.
Sounds like you're making sounds like you're making an audio book on like what priorities you should set when making a game.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
firstly, quality. Secondly, blah blah blah. So
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's kind of like how with a movie, the story is king. With games, gameplay is king. But then also visuals don't try not to put all of your development effort into animating individual arm hairs. Uh
what?
I mean that that's just sort of like me saying don't focus on making it as realistic as possible, even if you have the horsepower to do it.
Ah, I see what you mean. Okay, that makes a lot more
Mhm.
sense than arm hairs.
Yeah, yeah,
Hmm.
yeah.
I don't know. Maybe one of these days we can see like I mean, we're still in the stage of like we're still in the era of quality being increasing, but we will have to see in due time whether we see quality like we see people like saying like, hey, let's not focus on quality. Let's focus on quality of like visuals. Let's focus on quality of like the experience of gaming. Then maybe we
Yeah,
can see a change in how games are created or made.
yeah,
Then
yeah.
maybe we can finally say that we can find good games just because of the fact they focus more on the gameplay instead of the visuals.
Mm-hmm. Now, granted, is it nice to have good visuals and like especially like a good story? Yeah, that can um be very effective with keeping the player engaged. But if the gameplay isn't good, then there's that has to be worked out.
Yeah,
So, yeah.
trying to think whether Sonic 06 fills in that category.
Yeah.
Although here's the thing
Also,
though, in the words of Proton John, it's like the game is not hard, it's just glitchy.
yeah. Yeah. And what I was about to say kind of sort of relates to what Honeydew says. Um, it also depends on what the game is going for. Yeah, that and also just the taste of the person playing it as well. Because um an aspect of a game can be loved by one person but hated by another. That's just how opinions are.
Yep.
Every Bethesda game ever.
Oh, ouch.
Yeah.
Ouch. That's a shot that was not meant to be fired, but it was.
Yeah,
Oof.
yeah. A game can be beloved by one person but hated by another. So, yeah, it goes back to the saying of beauty is in the eye of the beholder.
Yeah.
Um, yeah.
So I'm just thinking. I'm still thinking like whether like there's other games like we could fit into the category of like great visuals but bad gameplay, or in another sense, great gameplay, bad visuals.
Yeah. Uh,
But I'm trying to think whether there's like some other games of that those categories because it's
mhm.
like you look at them and we think about the topic we just discussed about like game quality. Is like how can we rate those?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, well, we could probably discuss this off screen now because I'm kind of curious myself.
Yeah. Well, talking about game visuals that sort of brought back something that I've always thought about Mario Galaxy is that the game already does look great. Like I'm talking about the original version on Wii, and I guess yeah, talking about both Galaxy and Galaxy 2. But I think it's really gonna benefit from being in HD because
Yeah,
granted, it does already have a great art style, but it does feel like it was held back a bit by only being available in 480p, I think. Yeah. So, I know it feels like this I don't not like a layer of Vaseline because that more so has to do with color, but it feels like you're you've lived all your life without glasses, then you get glasses and it's like wow,
the world is
everything
different.
yeah, everything just looks so much better now. So, yeah, that was just like a random thought I've always had about Galaxy relating to visuals. But anyways,
Funny thing you mentioned about visuals because it's like I remember like the Fortune Gamer, which by the way, Country Pokemon episode 9 should be out soon or now. He did actually do some screenshots showing Pokemon X and Y on an emulator that he's using,
mm,
and honestly, it looked fantastic. Like 3DS, basically you think of 3DS graphics upscaled to not even Switch quality, but higher quality than that.
yeah, yeah.
And it's like, what could have been?
hmm I mean, granted that those are games for a dedicated handheld system, and so they're meant to be actually, viewed on the screens themselves, not on like a computer monitor or a TV. So, like, you kind of have to take that into consideration.
I do. I've
Because
seen the Stanley's Parable, but I never played it.
same. I have the Stanley Parable, but I don't think I've actually played it.
Hmm.
I think I know some of the more like spoilery stuff about that, so it's like not going to be as impactful to me when
Yeah,
I play it, but
same.
I still want to play it though at some point.
Same.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, in the words of Matt Gallagher when he did a review of the Italian Grand Prix, I wish he had an amnesia and then so I could play it again
Yeah.
and experience it fully.
Yeah. A lot of people are probably like that with games like Breath of the Wild. How they want to experience that blind for the first time again. Um, both games are centered around storytelling and they excel in that, which makes them memorable. Yeah.
True.
Yep. Yep.
And it's also great because of his humor.
That too. Did you get the broom closet ending? The broom closet ending was my favorite. Uh, I think that
When's
was
that?
from
Wait. Actually, I forgot already. When's that? Wait. Wait. Don't we have a choice? Wait, what? Wait, this is something different. Wait, did you change anything?
uh, I remember. I think it was when Steven did a. Did he do a first 20 of that where
Yes, he did.
he got the quote unquote broom closet ending, and that was my first time seeing it, and I just died laughing. But now I'm kind of numb to it, but it's still a great moment in that game.
Yeah. Well, and the timer stopped. Okay. Then it was just like there was like what he says at the end. It'll come eventually. It'll come. The ending will come eventually. Well, in the meantime, bap, bap. It's like that. It just gives you the shock of your life.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's just hilarious. Like the fact that the game just drives on the fact that the storytelling is so hilarious and they can follow through. It just makes it such a great game. Which proves that
Mm-hmm.
you don't always have to be graphically fantastic to be gamingly fantastic.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. A game can do whatever it wants to do, as long as it, I guess, does that thing well.
I mean, I remember watching a video on Phineas and Ferb, like saying how ingenious the idea behind the Phineas and Ferb series was, and how
Mm-hmm.
the creators went against the rules of a conventional cartoon, and it ended up working like a charm to everyone's surprise.
Yeah. Yeah.
And honestly, if you haven't watched Phineas and Ferb, the episodes are available on YouTube, so you can watch yourself and understand why I say that.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the same concept every time, but yet it works. It just works.
Yeah. Yeah. That's, again, one of those things that I've always meant to um watch. I just haven't gotten
How
around
did you
to it.
mention about Half-Life having bad graphics?
Yep. Yeah. Yeah. How old is that game? Probably very is the answer. Very old.
Yeah, now that you say that, hang on. Let me check as well.
During this past half hour, uh Discord server I'm in, I
1998.
that was a year before I was born.
That was the year after I was born.
Wow.
Well, at least you know. Well, I guess you guys know our ages now.
Yeah. I mean, I have mine public on my Twitter, so I don't care.
Same.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's wow.
That's a long time. I mean, here's the thing though. You could, I guess back then you could have excused the bad quality of the game because of the lower hardware, and then now all of a sudden, I guess the demand for better quality just because we're in an era of such high technology, high tech stuff and high quality stuff that I think it may have like imposed some people to be so worried about graphics that they forgot about the main gameplay.
Yeah.
Do you feel that way?
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, that's just a rumor slash like possibility slash conspiracy, but at the same time, it's kind of rectified with how gaming has changed over the years.
Yeah. Yeah.
Still, though, it's like I guess soon enough, or maybe we should like I don't know. Maybe one of these days we could like pull a poll and say, what do you value more, gaming, visual quality or gaming quality?
Yeah.
Then we can
Graphics
see
or
what
gameplay.
yeah, we see the general consensus whether it's one or the other.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Still though, like I don't know. It's just one of those things where I feel like nowadays people. I mean, I don't know. Was there a time in your life where you got spoiled by like graphics to the point where you realized that the game itself may not be great once you play it even more?
Hmm. Um, I mean, really, one of the few games that I would consider like not good, again that I've played was Sticker Star. Um, but I mean that game doesn't have the, I mean, just in terms of resolution, doesn't have that, isn't that great? But I mean the art style is quite good.
It's not much eye candy, basically.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Hmm. I think for me, I guess you could say possibly Doom 64. Like gameplay's fantastic, like understandable, but at the same time, when you look at the art style, it's like very weird.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's even a room that has spirits in the background. It's like a PowerPoint presentation on the as a background,
Yeah,
and it's like random souls or something like that. I don't know, and it looks so
mm-hmm.
weird.
I guess also like the quality of the character models in Mario Kart DS always just felt off to me.
Ah, yeah. I know you mentioned that.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the problem though: if you are able to do the exploit, the game is bad.
Oh yeah, yeah, snaking. Snaking. It's, yeah, I think I have some cousins that are good at that, and so whenever we've played that game in recent memory, it's just like, okay, I'm I'm in the nosebleeds of fifth place
Ugh.
because there's five of us total, like the three cousins, one of my older brothers and myself. So I would basically always be in like fifth place because they knew how to snake decently well, and I'm like, well, this is great.
Actually, now that I think about it, actually, a little bit of redirection, but then again, we're running out of time. I just want to say
Yeah.
that right now. I feel bad for the Mario Kart series because every single Mario Kart game that was on a handheld sucked.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
Super
yeah,
Circuit for GBA wasn't all that great. Mario Kart DS had the snaking problem, and then you look at Mario Kart 7. I still have no clue as to why that game is severely hated.
yeah, yeah.
Like, if someone can give me a great explanation as to why that game is hated, I would understand further. But at the same time, I probably will still stand by the fact that the game is not bad.
Yeah.
But at least a conversation, at least a explanation as to why people hate it will be enough for me because I just see it getting unnecessary hate.
Mm-hmm. And in some ways,
How did you mention Sea of Thieves? And honestly, I can agree.
mm, yeah. But with Mario Kart 7, I almost prefer how that game controls compared to 8. I don't know if it's just that I'm more used to 7, but it feels like I have better control over my kart in 7 out of any other Mario Kart game.
Hmm. Maybe just because there's
Um,
200cc in Mario Kart 8.
yeah, but I mean, even just comparing like 150cc in both games. And
Ah.
I've tried so many kart combinations over my time with 8 that I just prefer how um controls are in 7.
Hmm.
Now granted, why there's no versus mode when you're playing single player is a whole nother thing, but yeah. Yeah. Maybe, okay, maybe the reason why people don't necessarily like 7, one reason is probably because of the character roster, how it felt like a downgrade going from this massive list from Wii down to Honey Queen and Metal Mario, and how there's Waluigi Pinball, but you can't play as Waluigi. Um, and also how it just feels like there's not that much to do single player, I guess. That's probably why there are people that just don't really like 7, is my guess.
Hmm, interesting. I mean, I know because
Mm-hmm.
I guess you could say for those who are going from the other handheld, the fact that DS had like the mission mode and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I guess you could say that's also the reason why people didn't really like 7 compared to DS as well.
Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So it's just a bummer. I mean, but that's gonna be a conversation for another day and also another time because we run out of time already.
Yeah.
Oh man. If you're curious, level 86 to 94 today.
Nice.
So 8 levels gained today. Oof. Surprised I actually made that much progress, to be honest, but I'll take it. All right. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna cut the podcast today. Thank you guys so much for watching. It's been a pleasure talking once again. And Jazz, it's been a pleasure talking to you once again.
Yeah, great to be here.
Join us due time in probably 2 to 3 weeks. We're gonna decide a date on Saturday, then we'll plan out the timing where we'll do another podcast. We'll see you guys then. Peace.
Yeah, we'll see ya.